it's early. You guys are probably really tired, but I'm young and very energetic. So I'm just gonna go there really early. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. So some of you might be wondering, like, Brandon, why did you give this kid a mic? Why did you give him permission to come up here on stage? Like, he's just a kid. And maybe even some of you might have even tuned out as soon as you saw me walk onto stage. But I'm just asking that you would give me the next couple minutes and just hear something. Hear something and take something away from today. And I believe that somebody's going to hear something from God today. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to be reading out of Luke and Psalm today. But before I go into the word, I want to speak on this word of persistence. Now, persistence, we talk about it in the beginning, but I feel like it's not really something we talk about at the end, because we're coming to the end. So we want to be persistent in the beginning, yet when the end comes, we end and we're done. So there's nothing to be persistent about anymore. Now, Merriam-Webster's dictionary online, great resource. It defines persistent as existing for long or longer than usual or continually. So I want to talk about this because these 21 days, we start them excited. You know, it was January, brand new year, we're excited, we're committed. We might say, I'm going to be persistent through these next 21 days of prayer. But if you look back at the definition of persistent, it's long or longer than the usual time. So if 21 days of prayer and fasting is 21 days, then if we want to be persistent in our prayer, it goes past the 21 days. So the prayer is so much more, and being persistent in prayer is so much more than those 21 days. It goes into February, it goes into honestly, I don't even know what's after that. Lord help me. You continue it, it's going to be through the next year. If you're persistent in your prayer, it's going to lead up to 21 days of prayer and fasting in August, and then it repeats the cycle. So you're in this continuous cycle of persistent prayer. So I'm going to go ahead and read Luke chapter 18, verses 1 through 8. It's the parable of the persistent widow. Then Jesus told his disciples a parable to show them that they should always pray and not give up. He said, in a certain town there was a judge who neither feared God nor cared what people thought. And there was a widow in that town who kept coming to him with the plea, grant me justice against my adversary. For some time he refused, but finally he said to himself, even though I don't fear God or care what people think, yet because this widow keeps bothering me, I will see that she gets justice, so that she won't eventually come and attack me. And the Lord said, listen to what unjust judge says, and will not God bring about justice for his chosen ones who cry out to him day and night? Will he keep putting them off? I tell you, he will see that they get justice, and quickly. However, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth? So, going back to verse 1, it says that they should always pray and not give up. So, this kind of reminds me of football a little bit. I played football for 8 years of my life, so when I'm preparing things or I'm planning things, usually football comes in the equation somewhere. Now, if you know anything about football, watch it. You've probably heard the saying that you need to play through the fourth quarter. Now, playing through the fourth quarter, it means that you can't give up. There was a Super Bowl, I think it was 2 years ago, the Patriots versus the Falcons. The Falcons, they were ahead 28-3, yet they came to the fourth quarter and they lost all their confidence. There was no more. They lost in that fourth quarter. They were so confident. They were comfortable with where they were at. So they ended up losing. We play through the fourth quarter because even if we are up and we're winning, we have to be careful, because when we get comfortable, the other team can come back, he will come back, and they will win because we're comfortable, and we just lose sight of where we're going. So maybe some of us are feeling discouraged today, and we don't even want to continue. Maybe we're getting comfortable with our lead and letting the enemy creep right up behind us. So we're ahead now, yet there's only 2 days left of prayer, and we feel ahead. But within those 2 days, something can happen that can take everything that you've experienced from these past days and change everything. So I just want you to be encouraged because there's other people who have already checked out. Some of you might be in those last 2 minutes of the game. The enemy's already ahead and they just got the ball back. So you feel like there's nothing that you can do. You're already losing. So you've given up. There's no hope. But I'm here to tell you, there is hope.
Yeah.
So a little story, coming out of high school, I wasn't sure where I was going. I kind of messed high school up a little bit, not gonna lie. But, so we're not gonna go all the way there though. But I had no hope leaving high school. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I had no idea. I was not ready to graduate. And I remember asking God just to give me something to do. I didn't know what that meant. I just wanted something to do, somewhere to be. Now, He did put something in my life, and I don't believe that He spoke directly to me, but He spoke through our leaders, and they saw something. And they came out and they asked, they said, would you like to go to college? I said, up here? I said, yes. But here in my heart, I still said no, because I had no hope. I was in my last 2 minutes, and the enemy had the ball. They were already winning.
Yeah.
Mike.
So there was no hope. In my heart, I believed that I was already defeated, that nothing could change. So I'm just saying, I called out to God. I said, why? Why did you choose me? Out of all the people, the candidates, the possible people that it could have been, you chose me. And I just remember hearing Him say, He said, Michael, you've been chosen to live this life to your fullest. And I believe today, I just want to be encouraging to all of you because we are all chosen in this room. We are all here for a reason. And we're serving a God who's so good and so willing, but we have to be strong and persistent as well. So He does, and He will answer your prayer, because some of us today, we might not be encouraged because maybe He hasn't answered your prayer yet, and you're scared because there's only 2 days left of 21 days of prayer. So it can be scary, yes, but when we're persistent, you just have to take the 21 days of prayer, take that label away, and just pray.
Yeah,
because
that's
that
right,
21
Mike.
days, it keeps going. It keeps going into 22, 23, 24, for the rest of the month, into the next. So here's Psalm 65, 1 through 8. Praise awaits you, our God in Zion. To you, our vows will be fulfilled. You who answer prayer, to you, all people will come. When we are overwhelmed by sins, you forgave our transgressions. Blessed are those you choose and bring near to live in your courts. We are filled with the good things of your house, of your holy temple. You answer us with awesome and righteous deeds, God our Savior, the hope of all the ends of the earth and of the farthest seas, who formed the mountains by your power, having armed yourself with strength, who stilled the roaring of the seas, the roaring of their waves, and the turmoil of the nations. The whole earth is filled with awe at your wonders. Where morning dawns, where evening fades, you call forth songs of joy. After reading that, I just want to be encouraging to just refresh and continue to call out. Just continue to call out, because He has answers. You might not be experiencing them yet, but maybe you have. But I just ask that you would continue to call out to His name. Now, if He has answered your prayer for this 21 days of prayer, like, yes, He answered it in the third day of 21 days. On the third day, He answered your prayer that you had set for the 21 days. So you've just kind of checked out, and you've been walking around praying. But get back, just come back. Maybe not pray for yourself, but be praying over the wall and everybody else's. Everybody else's chains, because everybody in this room has something that needs freedom from. So I just believe that there's so much more for you, and just be like the lady from Luke. Just keep knocking. Say, Jesus, I'm here. Keep knocking. On Monday, after Pastor Josh preaches on Sunday, go home on Monday and not say, Jesus, I'm here on Tuesday. So just call out to him. Say, Jesus, I'm here. I'm calling out to you. Just make your prayer persistent, praying for a long or longer than usual time, and praying continuously. Answers will come, even if it's late in overtime and you feel your team's leaving you. God's been with you this entire time. Your team has left you, you feel alone, you're isolated, but I'm telling you, God's with you, and he's not going to leave you. So, just, oh my goodness, just continue to pray. That's, when we continue to pray, so much can change. And it doesn't have to be asking for something every time. You can just be praying over somebody, or praying for something, or just giving thanks. I just encourage you to be persistent in your prayer. So after these 21 days of prayer ends, and by the way, there's only one more morning of 6 a.m. Pretty excited, I'm not gonna lie. But once it ends, just continue. Just continue. So I'll just ask you to bow your heads and close your eyes.